drop a like in the next 3.756 seconds or you have bad luck for 3 years. Also, 71.4% of you people watching right now are not subscribed, so hit the subscribe button. Welcome back to another Fortnite mobile video. Today, or yesterday, I saw duckythegamer make a video about how he thinks that Fortnite mobile next season could be ruined because of how there's going to be a lot of flood and water and how that drops frames for him. But I'm here because I think it won't actually ruin Fortnite for most people, because he was on a 120 frame device and he was dropping down to like 80s, but I'm using a 60 frame device and I barely noticed any drops except for when I was at the agency. So I think it's more of just like he's using 120 frames, he's dropping down to 80, which is still very good frame rates, which is still higher than what I get, but I'm getting like a steady 60, maybe into like the 50s when in water, as you'll see in the future soon. So really, it's not really going to affect that much, I don't think, especially because Epic should know what will happen and will optimize the game. So as you see, I'm about to drop in and you can see how many frame rates I get. It's just like a steady 60. I haven't really noticed any really frame drops except when I first like loaded new POIs or when I go to agency. That's really where all my frames drop. Besides that, it doesn't drop, like especially in water, I don't see any drops almost ever. So I don't think that season 3 will be hurt. I think people on very low end devices like SEs, 7s, they'll definitely not be able to play very well. But they already right now only get like 20 frames, 30 frames. As you saw in one of my previous videos, they didn't get, when I was playing on my phone, they didn't get very many frames. So I think as long as you have a 60 FPS capable device, you should be fine for the next season. So don't be scared, you don't have to go get a new iPad, get a new phone. You should most likely be safe for the next update. See, right now it's steady 60, it drops down to like the 50s. Nothing too major, like it says. I don't notice any really major drops at all. It's pretty consistent. So yeah, I'm gonna head over to the agency and you guys can see the frame rates over there. It is a little bit worse when you get towards the agency, but it's also, the agency has all the henchmen. Yeah, and it's just a big location along with the huge amounts of water, which does kind of affect it. Huge amounts of water, but like a rivers doesn't affect it at all. Huge amounts don't affect it that much, unless you're in a big POI. So like right now it's 59 to 60 FPS, so it's very steady. 55, 57, it's a very steady FPS, doesn't go really up or down too much. But if you're on like a lower end device, I'm sure you will get like frame drops, but as long as you're on a 60 FPS capable device, I think you should be fine for the next season. Again, I haven't tested on like iPads that do 30 FPS. I've only tested it on like a phone, which is actually, I think, the oldest phone. The iPhone 7, I think, is the oldest phone you could play Fortnite on, except for maybe the SE. But I think the SE, yeah, I think the SE is the oldest, and this is like the second oldest. Or I think you can play on the 6S too. But on the 7, it's like 20, 30 frames, maybe even like 15s. But now, as you see, I'm getting in the 40s, 50s, but I'm also at the agency. So when it fully loads in, after a few seconds, it goes back. And then in the water, it's back to a steady 60. Nothing goes, it doesn't really go up or down. It does go down slightly when I'm like loading in risky. When I'm heading towards risky, it starts to lag. But besides that, it doesn't really, it was a stutter there, but now that it's loaded in, it's not really getting much stutters. So yeah, I think season 3 for the most part should be fine if you're on a 60 FPS capable device. If you're on 30 FPS capable device, like anything older than probably the 2017 iPad Pro and like the iPhone 8, stuff like that, I think might struggle. But yeah, it should be fine. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. And yeah.